What happens when the greatest shot maker of all time looks at the young man who's already broken records once thought untouchable? Roger Federer, calm as always, recently gave his verdict on whether Carlos Alcaraz, the one-year-old phenomenon, has already surpassed Novak Djokovic, the man who once stood shoulder to shoulder with him and Nadal in the Big Three. And let's just say, Federer's answer didn't just surprise fans, it shook the tennis world. Because what he revealed wasn't just about Alcaraz's game, it was about the future of tennis itself. To understand Federer's statement, we need to rewind to the past year, a season defined by shifting power. Djokovic, 38 years old, still clutching to greatness. Alcaraz, barely 21, already holding 2 Grand Slam titles, the U.S. Open and Wimbledon, and taking down Novak himself in an all-time classic at the All England Club. Their clash wasn't just a match, it was a generational collision. Djokovic, the ultimate machine, all precision, defense, and discipline. Alcaraz, the raw explosion of instinct, charisma, and fearless improvisation. Federer watched that match from the royal box and later called it a gift to tennis. But privately, in later interviews, he hinted that Alcaraz's combination of power, touch, and mental agility reminded him of something his own prime years. And now, the question every fan whispers, has Alcaraz already reached a level even Djokovic can't match anymore? That's exactly what we'll break down factor by factor. Stick around because Federer's final words on Alcaraz will make even Djokovic fans pause for a moment. Let's start with the cold hard data. Novak Djokovic, 24 Grand Slam titles, over 400 weeks as world number 1, 98 ATP titles, the most consistent player in history. His numbers feel almost alien, but here's where it gets interesting. Carlos Alcaraz reached world number 1 faster than anyone in ATP history, at just 19. And while Djokovic needed years to find his Grand Slam rhythm, Alcaraz has already beaten both Djokovic and Nadal on the biggest stages before turning 21. In head-to-head matchups, Djokovic still leads, but every encounter feels closer. Their 5-set Wimbledon 2023 final proved something crucial. Djokovic could outlast almost anyone, except this kid. Alcaraz's speed, anticipation, and creativity forced Novak to play on instinct rather than control. And the stats back it up. Alcaraz generated more winners, covered more ground, and forced Djokovic into 45 unforced errors in that final, his highest tally in a major final since 2013. Federer once said, "The stats don't tell you who's better, they tell you who's adapting faster." And right now, Alcaraz's rate of evolution is terrifying. But being faster and flashier doesn't always mean being better. There's a deeper test, one that Djokovic has passed 1,000 times, the mind. If there's one thing Djokovic built his empire on, it's mental warfare. He thrives in chaos. The louder the crowd, the calmer his pulse. He turns pressure into oxygen. Alcaraz, though, he's rewriting that script. When he faced Djokovic in the 2023 Cincinnati final, he lost in heartbreaking fashion, 3.5 hours of warfare, ending in a tie-break defeat. Many said it would break him. But just months later, he returned with even sharper focus. No emotional collapse, no overcorrection, just improvement. Federer once noted, "Carlos doesn't fear losing, he fears standing still." And that's exactly why his mentality already echoes Djokovic's best version. Still, Djokovic's mental resilience isn't gone. Remember the 2025 Australian Open semifinal? Down 2-0 against Medvedev, he clawed back and won, proving that his competitive instinct hasn't faded. So, mentally, Djokovic remains the master of endurance. But Alcaraz, he's already mastered something Novak didn't. At that age, joy under pressure. He smiles, he jokes, he celebrates mid-match. Federer once said, "That's rare, that's dangerous." But even joy and nerves mean nothing without the complete game, and that's where Federer's verdict gets personal. When Federer analyzed Alcaraz's game, he didn't look at numbers, he looked at texture. He said, "Alcaraz plays with hands and heart. He has the variety of me, the explosiveness of Rafa, and the athleticism of Novak, but in a new way." Think about that for a second. The big three were defined by specialization. Federer, elegance and precision. Nadal, power and passion. Djokovic, control and flexibility. Alcaraz, he's a hybrid monster. He'll drop shot from the baseline, volley mid-rally, or crush a forehand from a defensive stance. He's not replicating the big three, he's remixing them. And technology plays a role. Alcaraz grew up with data analytics, biomechanical training, and AI-aided coaching. His team tracks everything: heart rate, sprint distance, recovery cycles. He's a 21st century athlete built for sustained intensity. Djokovic, on the other hand, is a master of optimization, but at nearly 38, recovery costs him more. He adapts smarter, not faster. And Federer admitted, in pure shot-making and instinct, Alcaraz may already be ahead. He wasn't saying Alcaraz has surpassed Djokovic's career, but that his ceiling might now be higher. But Federer isn't the only legend talking. The tennis world has weighed in, and their words paint a fascinating picture of what's coming next. Andy Roddick, always blunt, told Tennis Channel, Djokovic's numbers are eternal, but if we're talking pure tennis, Alcaraz plays shots we've never seen before. John McEnroe added, the kid moves like a cat, hits like a truck, and smiles like Federer. You can't coach that. Even Rafael Nadal, never one to overpraise, admitted, he plays with freedom, something that maybe we lost with time. But the line that broke the internet came from Federer himself, speaking at a Uniqlo event in Tokyo. If I had to face Carlos at 21, I would have lost. He's the evolution of our generation. That one sentence sent analysts into a frenzy. Because for Federer, the man who once symbolized unreachable perfection, to admit that the next generation might already be superior means the torch has truly been passed. Still, he added a key caveat. Talent isn't legacy. Legacy is consistency. And that's where Djokovic still reigns supreme. So, is Alcaraz already better than Djokovic? In raw athleticism and instinct, yes. In creativity and versatility, yes. But in dominance, longevity, and the weight of history, not yet. Federer's verdict wasn't a dethroning, it was a prophecy, a recognition that the sport he helped shape has evolved into something faster, freer, and maybe even more beautiful. And as Federer put it best, Djokovic may still be the king, but Alcaraz, he's the future. So the real question isn't if Alcaraz will surpass Djokovic, it's how soon. And in our next video, we'll break down exactly that, the day Alcaraz finally becomes the undisputed No. 1 of the new era. Make sure you subscribe, because the tennis world is changing faster than anyone expected.